Joining me now to discuss Lee Carter, GOP's communication strategist, Fox News contributor Deneen Borelli, Hadley Heath Manning, Independent Women's Forum policy director. Hadley, let me start with you. Again, some are saying, hey, this Paul Ryan's announcement is just another stake in the heart of the GOP hopes for November. But I think that people are in a better position, and this might be premature among the experts.
That's right. It all goes back to that question that Ronald Reagan asked, are you better off? That's the question that most people are primarily concerned with. Of course, we have to keep in mind in any election, there are many Americans who decided whom to vote for like 10 years ago, because they're partisans and they're always going to stick to their party. But for people who are in the middle, the people who make up the election results, those people are definitely going to be influenced by how much money is in their paycheck, how the stock market's doing, a general confidence about the economy that certainly more Americans have now than they did a year or two ago. And so I agree with you, Charles. I think the economy is the biggest factor here.
You know, Lee, and listen to what Hadley had to say. We know that, okay, so a lot of folks are rigid. So we're talking perhaps about the middle, the independents. Yeah. Yesterday, Quinnipiac came out with a poll. I found it fascinating. Who do you want to control the House? Republican Party got 43%. The Dems got 46%. But back in February, it was 38 to 53%. Right. That is a distinctive difference. And you know what drove it? Right now, independents at 43% for Republicans and only 39% for Democrats. The media seems to be missing out on these trends.
Well, the media missed out on a lot of trends that happened. I mean, the media was sure that Hillary Clinton was going to ride right into the White House. So I think that there's a lot that they're missing. But what we've seen over the last year and a half is that independents have been fluctuating about 12 points, depending on issue, moment by moment. The president right now has the highest approval rating since he's taken office. Republicans are gaining popularity. And I think you're right. A lot of it comes down to the wallet, the pocketbook, and all of the things that they're feeling. But also, I think, by and large, Americans feel that the Republicans are more on their side than Democrats. A lot of the average Americans out there feel Democrats look down on them. Right. They're being condescending. The message of resist is something that's not resonating with them. So I think that what's going to be really, really telling about the midterms is what platform are the Democrats going to run on? Are they going to run on resist? If they do, they will lose. Or are they going to run on something like they did in Pennsylvania, which was where they said, let's go a little bit more to the middle.
Well, they kind of usurped the Republican platform.
Well, that's right.
Pennsylvania. You know, today President Trump had this event in the Rose Garden, and I was struck by the ordinary people coming up and talking about how this tax cuts and impacted them, including one representative from Warner Enterprises, a truck company. Let's take a listen to Derek Leathers.
I want to recognize Marvin and Kathy with me today. Marvin is a 22-year Operation Freedom driver at Warner, 15 years in the U.S. Army, and 2 million accident-free miles delivered on America's roadways. Marvin told me that he and his wife are going to take an RV trip to Orlando to an important family reunion with some of the money that they've earned from the tax cuts. Kathy is a single mother of 2. She works in our driver analytics group and is proudly raising 2 beautiful children. And with her earnings, she's going to continue to support them on their quest for a college education.
I mean, this is real people, right? This is real people stuff. Right?
Yes.
It's far a million miles away from whatever Cory Booker was talking about.
It is real people, and I agree with both of our panelists here today, Charles. And listen, the Republicans are going to run on the tax cuts and how Americans are better off.
Effectively on it, though?
Well, they got to keep talking about it. You mentioned the president was speaking today about it. He was speaking, last week as well, and he had real, everyday, hardworking Americans around him when he was talking, giving their stories, their personal stories, and how they've been changed or how it's affected themselves, their families, because they got that raise or because they got that job, because this company was hiring. Right. Over 400 companies made the actual announcement that because of the tax cuts, they're able to do more things for their employees. Right. And hire more.
Right. But, you know, again, Hadley, it gets back to politics of envy and that sort of thing. You know, when President Obama was in office and they extended the payroll tax cuts, the White House put up a video. I thought it was a great video. It was like $40, how great $40 impacted people from 50 states. And they had these amazing stories from people from every single state in this country that talked about how amazing $40 were, which makes you wonder how they can diss $1,000 or $2,000.
That's right. Well, Democrats are very good with that message, making big economic issues very personal and delivering those personal stories. So good for them. But let's not underestimate that Democrats are very fired up for this midterm election, and that presidents, after their election into office, typically lose seats. Their party loses seats. So we shouldn't underestimate those effects. The question, of course, the real critical question is how many seats will Republicans lose? And I think when they do present a positive message on the economy, when they do make big economic issues personal, as we just saw in the video clip that you played, that they will resonate with a lot of people especially who may be sitting on the fence about whom to vote for, but also sitting on the fence about whether or not they're going to vote at all, because we know turnout plays a big part in every midterm election.
All right. Okay, ladies, thank you all very, very much appreciated.